بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. الحمد لله. أنا شكو بنيوم Sheikh Yayah. Alhamdulillah. The Nasla Mal Chura Abena Fanye. We're here with our beloved Sheikh Yayah. Alhamdulillah. He's going to tell us how he became Muslim. Tfaddal Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum. I used to own a restaurant called Soul to Go at 71st and Ogons. I owned a business in Center City called Center City Caterers. My family, we had a relative that was on drugs, but I did not know it. And they asked me to give him a job, but no one told me that he was on drugs. So I gave him a job working at night when the restaurant closed from 12 at night to 6 in the morning by himself, which was a tragedy waiting to happen. So one night I rode by the restaurant like late at night and I saw these. You gonna cut it off?
No, further, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, is this taco guy? Okay, all right. You want to start again?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
So I gave him a job. And then one night I was riding by the restaurant, it was late at night, and I saw this stranger coming out of the restaurant. So I stopped, I went in, and I saw where they had all this food packed up and they were stealing it. They were taking the food around to the crack house and exchanging food for crack. So the next day I called his mother, which is my relative, and told him, now I can't have him working here. I can't have him stealing from me, and bringing strange people into my business. So I said, it was on a Thursday. I said, Monday, we're all going to sit down. I'm going to give him some money, and we're going to separate with dignity like a family, right? He'd go his way, and I'd go back to my business. That Friday, he came back with two guys and himself, and I could tell something was wrong because he was like another person. And they were he was just acting out. So after him screaming and yelling, I just said, I'm gone. So I went out the back door, but he had his two friends waiting for me at the back door. Some crazy crackheads, And my van was on a slight decline. So what they did was they opened the door and let it just drift back. And my door got bent all the way forward. And then what they wanted to do was prevent me from leaving. So he came around, and they wouldn't let me leave. So then he beat me up. And then when he beat me up, I shot him. Because I was a restaurant owner, right? And I had my gun. I shot him. So then a year went by and went to trial, and they found me guilty of 3rd degree, which means you didn't wake up that morning to hurt anybody. Things just happened and somebody got killed. So then, since I was so successful and I live in America and I'm black, they don't really like that too much. So I was 42 years old. I had a wife, 2 children, a home, business in Center City, and a business on Ogons Avenue. Never been arrested, never had any problems. But they convicted me like I was a career criminal. So they gave me 14 years, for a 3rd degree. 3rd degree means you got up in the morning, you saw Muhammad, you guys got in an argument, you punched Muhammad, he fell on the ground, hit his head, and he died. You didn't get up in the morning to hurt Muhammad, you know what I mean? So when I was in prison, since I'm a master chef, they always had me cooking for the guards. And I cooked for the warden. I was the warden's little caterer, right? Every time he had a function, I'd go and cater. They take advantage of the people with skills like that. So before that happened, when I got arrested, they had me in a prison called Holmesburg, right? I never was in prison before. So the third day I was there, they put me in a cell with a guy, and they called the prayer. And I never heard it before. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what they were saying. All I know is all that stress, all that fear, all that anxiety. When I heard it, it left me. So I would get up every morning and wait. I'd go to the cell door and wait for him to call it. And ask the guy in the cell, what is that? He said, that's the way the Muslims call to prayer. It really, I didn't even know what it was saying, but it just calmed me down. And then 5 years later, after I was convicted and I cooked for the guards, they would let me make sandwiches and I'd take them back and sell them. But I worked from 12 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. So they had me on the honor block. You know, all the people with special skills, they put them on this nice block where it's no problem. It's, you know, real quiet, right? So I would bring my sandwiches back and sit them on my trunk. And we didn't have cells, we had rooms. So I had like 15 sandwiches every night. And at that time, cigarettes was money in jail. So every time I would come back, there'd be 15 packs. But there was this one guy, and his personality just stood out. He was so polite, so calm. And in prison, you're not supposed to ask questions about people. Keep you mind your business. The first rule of prison is mind your business. But I had to ask. So I asked about him. And I said, who is he? And they said he was the imam. And I didn't know what an imam was. But I knew that his character was exceptional. So I said, well, what kind of time is he doing? They said life. I said, there's no way that man is doing a life sentence. Because when I'm around him, I'd be peaceful. So after meeting him, and I said, you know, there's got to be something to this. Because I'm going to leave here, inshallah, God willing, in 14 years. He's never going to leave here. And I'm stressed out, and he's fine. So I got to talking to him, and he gave me some books, and I started reading. And the call to prayer, seeing his personality, and then I read about the Emperor Constantinople. Read about the Emperor Constantine, and how the Trinity came about. And that was it. 5 years after that, I took my Shahada. And I took my Shahada sincerely and from my heart. And I've never turned back. The best things ever happened to me was the day I said, Shadu la ilaha illallah, Shadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's the best things that ever happened to me.
Allahu Akbar. Beautiful story. I'm going to translate this, alhamdulillah. Anga karamu Cheikh Yayah zawla wa khairan. Anyani niga dunas lamela shugodi. Akali dunas lamela chumna asura restaurant kuma bura kumena fulo chama sura restaurant. Donc konna la balmando ya nyinafe akad balmando tabarala. Aya balmain tabarala. Mais aya balmain kume drogu aferu ke. Donc aya ubla la nyona balmain ya ise ka wole kofe ka complot tracé jusqu'à ce que aya ise ka kele asura marfa ba le bulwati. Donc comme ça marfa ti chaina. Akela ga marfa ti chaina aya chain fara. When you shot him, did he die?
Yes.
Aya chain fara. Parce que yo complot tracé ka foko na ise ka kele. Donc marfa kumba bulu ale chain fara. Akela ka chain fara tara kasola uye 14 ans dama kasola. Donc kato kasola sisa aya sura lebse tobli la donc ukuma ale tabe tobli ke ka di kasola den gardien ma kuma tobli kuye. Don dore ay seli wole kame. Akela ka seli wole kame ale ko no koni fana jume. Ako seli wole kan ale black aya ale calmer ka duskunya ka calmer quoi. Au kofe ale ko ya bla oro dora beto ka toblu ke kasola de nyuma me bla yorom na ya bla no ale a constater che kelen kumbe no che ko na ka comportement kan asumalen do abe bela jilen bunye ako kasola donte nyoro nyinga ko ni chi e join me kale don ko ni kale ni ngali ke ko ni e join o ya fale ko ni almamine islamale do almamine do ako ko na la ale yae ko kera ale chien fole aka almamine ma tola atlo la pasa kunte almamine don donc o konna alhamdulillah la ka livre wala fa be no ayo kala o ko fa donas la mela ako kera décision nyana man bari nali yake ka dos la mela ni american chokor bari donas la mela akelenka alhamdulillah silamo ka seli wala kame anika almami rencontrer almami na jogo kun kan kosbe beautiful story Cheikh Yayah jazakumullahu khair barakallahu fikum The second question is, Cheikh Yayah, alhamdulillah, can you please give a general advice to the Muslims? General advice to the Muslims.
Without going into a lot of details, you should go to the mosque and pray as many times in a day as you can. If you go to Fajr, go to the mosque. Allah's going to ask you, did you go to my house and pray? So you going to the mosque is like getting cleaned every day. You should, as much as you can go to the mosque and pray, you should go to the mosque and pray. Particularly Fajr and Isha, the morning prayer and the night prayer. So the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is you thank your Lord that you got up and you go to his house and you pray. The last thing you do at night is you thank your Lord and you go to his house and pray. You know, everybody can't be a scholar, but you can get up and go to the mosque and pray.
Allahu Akbar. Anyanga chukorobani ningango la dilika jimema buloka disla bela jelema. Kolla dilika mimbali buloka disla bela jelena. Islam bela jelena seli farda duru matarafa misiri kona la chew. Abeni chewone ba. Ika wuli kata fajiri sele misiri la. Ika sele funa sele misiri la. Ka asra sele misiri la. Ka fitri sele misiri la. Ka safu sele misiri la. Awla dilika Islam bela jelema. Cheikh Yayah, alhamdulillah, can you please recite something from the Quran, inshallah? Anything. Barakallahu feekum. Tfaddal.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Gairil makdubi alayhim. Waladalin. Ameen.
MashaAllah, beautiful recitation of the Sheikh. Alhamdulillah, Surah Al-Fatiha. Something that I would like to mention. I know the Sheikh won't be happy for me to mention this. Cheikh Yayah is someone that, alhamdulillah, on Jeremiah Avenue, he gets up after Fajr, sweep the whole street, showing that, alhamdulillah, everybody can contribute towards the da'wah. You don't have to be the imam giving the khutbah and so on and so forth. This is the contribution of the Sheikh. You know, to the point that I see youth, we started feeling bad. We're like, Sheikh, we're going to help you. Sometimes we don't show up. He doesn't do anything, alhamdulillah. He doesn't rebuke us for not showing up. He gets the broom, he goes and he sweeps the street, right? Jeremiah Avenue in front of the masjid. And make sure the streets are clean, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless the Sheikh and reward him. And likewise, the Sheikh, alhamdulillah, has a beautiful skill. We're going to show you the pictures. For those who want, alhamdulillah, want to get some stuff for their wives and stuff like that. You know, yeah, tell them about it, you know.
Yeah, from the time I was a little kid, I wanted to be a chef. So when my family broke up, I went to work as washers dishes. So I was in the kitchen. But really, I was in school. And I was taught to be quiet, watch the cooks, and learn. And then go from restaurant to restaurant to restaurant and pretend that you're in a college course. Each restaurant you go in. So you want to show the pictures?
Keep talking.
So that's what I did. I went and worked in so many restaurants, I can't even remember how many restaurants I worked in. But every restaurant I went in, I learned something. I learned how to bake cakes, carve ice. You can show, man.
MashaAllah. I know for sure the Sheikh made this right here for me. MashaAllah. May Allah bless the Sheikh. He makes it, alhamdulillah, with fruits. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Allah Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Beautiful. Allah Mubarak. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Cheikh Yayah, anything you want to say last?
Take your shahada. Become a Muslim.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Alhamdulillah.